Good morning. My name is Georgia Kashavarov. I am doing a presentation on Stop the Cycle of Alcohol Abuse for the New Generation. And this presentation is referring to my family and my current family. Doing this presentation for the family programs at the Aleutian and Pribilof Islands Association. So to start it off, I have on here, it says Stop the Cycle of Alcohol Abuse for the Next Generation. And here's a picture of my family. I have my brother Andrew, and this is my daughter Allison, her fiance Solomon, their daughter Kaylee. That's my son Stephen, his fiance Margaret, her daughter Natalia, my husband Jeff, and me. So to look at the personal history of my side of the family with alcohol abuse, I was growing up in an alcoholic family. My dad was an alcoholic, and we grew up in a lot of domestic violence with alcohol abuse, and my mom left us when I was probably around 8 years old, and it was all due to the alcoholism. She couldn't handle it anymore with the abuse going on in the family. So it has a great impact on us, and and it affected my whole family. A lot of my family members use alcohol today and abuse it. And then with my husband, his side of the family, they also grew up with alcoholism. And even though they're church-going people, living in small communities, got a lot of families that deal with alcoholism. But he was fortunate; he didn't have any repercussions from it. So he's been doing pretty good. With our current family, with me and my husband, we struggled for probably the first 9 years of our marriage with alcoholism. I always told myself I wasn't going to be like my father or my parents, my family, my brothers and sisters, but I ended up doing exactly the same thing, living the life of alcohol and abuse and having my children be part of that. And that's what I'll be talking about, is where we are now and for our family to stop it. I saw this brochure in one of the meeting room, and I really liked it and used it as part of my presentation on how substance abuse affects parenting skills. And on the highlights, effective parenting helps children develop in healthy ways. And I wish I knew these when I was younger. How substance abuse affect a parent, on how they make their choices in life, and how it really hurt my family when we were growing up. Substance abuse can lead to maltreatment of children, more so emotional neglect, I would say, on my part, with my family, my 2 children that I have, not being there for them, not doing, the parental responsibilities of taking them out and doing a lot of stuff with them. Exposing them to the alcohol, that's a downfall. Their experience in life, having to grow up, feel like without a parent. I know I did. I had to be my own parent because my parents were never there for me. So I had to make my own judgments and do my own homework, and couldn't ask for help when my mom left. It was up to my dad, but it was hard to talk to my dad because talking to a father, is different than talking to a mother. So, and my dad was always feeling high, so it was really hard. And I try not to do that with my children, but exposing them in the house with alcohol, I didn't realize I was doing that. So not being there for them. In the long term, with the substance abuse, alcohol, their mental, emotional, we could see some difficulties with it because we see the patterns of lying, and they lie to us a lot, and we can see it. And some emotional stress that put upon them that we can see what's causing us with the relationships. But I think now I'll talk later about how our relationships are now. And I like to take the self-test on there, and I said yes to a lot of them. I was like, wow, That really surprised me, but I mean, not really surprised me. I shouldn't say that, because I already knew what I was doing and just didn't pay attention to it. Because alcohol, that's what alcohol does to people. Because it affects everybody. We try to say we're not being affected by it or anything, but it does. And the impact, it destructs your whole family. See it like with my family, my mom left. And it was really hard, you know, at a young age, trying to grow up without a mother. So I try not to do that with my children, even though my husband and I, we had so much difficulties in the first 9 years of our marriage. We managed to work things out and stay with each other to make sure that we didn't have that broken life. We were still broken on the inside, but we didn't know how to fix it. But we had violence in our marriage, you know, which affected all of us. My kids saw one, my son seen it, you know, but I think my daughter heard most of the yelling and screaming a lot. So, and you lose who you are as a person when you use alcohol. And I mean, we didn't do it on a daily basis. We did it probably twice a week, but that's still a lot when you have a family, you know, and you're trying to grow up young children. It affects your jobs, how you think at work. Because I used to go to work and I'd be like, oh, my mind is all fogged. I couldn't think straight. And my husband would go to work, you know, we would probably smell like alcohol. We would say, no, we don't. You know, we can do our jobs, we're fine. But not realizing ourselves that we were blind to that, because we didn't want to admit to ourselves that this was affecting us and our families. The impact of the addiction is your health. We have health problems. My husband now, he's had high blood pressure, he had anxieties, and now he's got some psoriasis from all this, and the mental abuse of it all. I still think about it. I still go through it. It's always there. I get scared, and you know, and if you drink when you're pregnant, you know, your children can be FAS, and I'm thankful, you know, I didn't do any of that kind of stuff. I knew better than that, but, you know, but sometimes I look at, you know, it's not only FAS, but it's what we do to our children when they were young, and how we bring them up in a home with alcohol and the damage. We don't realize how much damage it does. And, you know, and that goes along with the long-term effects of the mental and with the physical abuse of it all. How they react mentally and how they act physically, how we are physically. We're not, since my husband and I have quit drinking going on 9 months ago, you know, we're able to see the physical side of our well-being now. We're able to lose a weight that we've been trying to lose forever, and feeling a lot more energetic and happy about ourselves. So it plays a role. Relationships with our kids, they seem to go into that same pattern of life of the abuse, and how when they drank, their lives was no different than ours. They went into that same cycle of alcohol and abuse. And we've told them, you know, over and over, you're not fit to drink because of the cycle that you're going through. It's from us. We pass it on for some reason, you know, and I don't know if it's generation to generation, but it just seems to be a pattern in our lives that affected every one of us and our children. So we're trying to stop that with our granddaughter and with my son's fiance's daughter, and you know, hoping they'll hear that. So with treatment, it can take you up to these, because the treatment has an effect on your life, and it takes you up to 3 months to 2 years for in-house treatment, and then after you look at outpatient care, and then AA for the rest of your life. You know, and it also affects your family and your friends, but also in a good way because they're there to support you. By quitting, you're going to start a new beginning in life, and this is where your family comes in, that we as a family, we start a new beginning, that we're starting a new life again. We're able to be there for each other, to listen to each other. And, you know, and it has a great impact on our jobs because we're able to do what we've been hired to do, and to pay attention to what we're supposed to do. And then it has, you know, and our home is a happy home. and we're able to keep the home. We're not losing our home because of alcohol and, you know, with the money going elsewhere. And we have more time with the family by going to movies, having board games and going for walks and doing a lot of family stuff, which we didn't do. And we've always put it off to the side because of that. And time for spiritual guidance, we go to church. My husband and I, we go to church now every Sunday. And we do have more confessions and communions more often than we usually do, besides just before Christmas or Easter. And then we celebrate all the holidays, church holidays, meaning like the Mother of God and, you know, cross holidays, and we understand them more because we pay more attention to it. And we're able to get some projects done because we save the money, and my husband got his four-wheeler working. We got some home projects going on right now. And, you know, and I spend more time cooking and baking, which I never did. So now I have time for that. And then we rejoice as a family. We have family dinners where we all sit by the table now, and then we also have family meetings where we sit down and discuss what's going on in the family, and we're able to speak up without any arguments or anything, and everybody's on the same page. So it's really nice. And we're giving a chance to the new generation, and that's for the grandchildren. And my son is expecting a baby July 1st, so we're really excited about that, and hopefully to pass that on, you know, for the new generation. And we're optimistic about the future, and, you know, and we're all happy, and as a family now that we can be a family where we want it to be, you know, finally. Took us this long, but it's never too late, you know, once you realize what you're doing and how we can be a family without alcohol and enjoy the beautiful life that God gave us. So, and that's the new generation is Nathalia and my granddaughter, and then the new baby coming along. And that's me being very happy as a family. So, so that's where our life is going right now, is to be a happy family.